My name is Ali. I live in Brighton in the UK and I'm an artist. I first got sick probably when I was about 15. I remember being tired a lot of the time and getting infections, and I was hospitalised a few times with that. And it was probably when I was about 20, 21 that the illness really started to kick in. And I was just finding it harder and harder to do things. Having a social life wasn't possible. I managed to finish my degree and, try and start a career as an artist, but it was just getting tougher and tougher, and eventually I found myself bedbound. And even the smallest tasks were a mission. And I remember even having to really psych myself up before brushing my teeth and things like that because it was such a challenge. Yeah, my life really started to shrink. The doctors didn't really know what was going on with me. They kind of labelled it a few things, but my symptoms kept changing. And I remember at one point I was admitted into 6 different departments in the hospital, and they just kept passing me around like a hot potato. So it was frustrating at the time. I really wanted to know why I was ill, what was going on. I wanted answers, and I wanted a magic cure. But those things weren't coming to me. And I think, it sort of started me off on this quest to try and find out what was going on, why my life had become so small. And I think what kept me going through it all was this kind of burning fire inside me that knew that I was here for something bigger. I think that kept me going through the really dark times as well. I started going on a lot of courses, and I took up meditation and all sorts of different styles of meditation. I explored a lot of books, spiritual philosophies, psychology. It was challenging because I didn't have a lot of energy, I didn't have any money, and I just kept searching and searching. And eventually I ended up on a first sphere Ascension course. And I remember that the first night of the course, just realising that I could stop looking, that I'd found what I was looking for, and it wasn't that I was looking for a cure anymore. It was suddenly realising that I could be happy no matter what was going on. For me, that was a really big turning point, and that's what this meditation practice has taught me. It's not about even trying to get better anymore. And the interesting thing is, the more that I let go of that desire to be better and just keep surrendering it, the amazing thing is the more health I have. And I remember being told on that first course that it's not possible to feel pain if you're really present and in the moment. And that made me quite angry at first. I didn't believe it, but the more I played with that and just stayed innocent to it and explored it, the more I realised that I don't ever need to suffer again. And I've had the most incredible experiences of being in really quite intense, severe pain, but just completely at peace and completely happy, and it's absolutely fine, and trusting that my body is doing what it needs to do. Regularly meditating has really affected my creativity in my work. Aside from having more energy to really jump in and do it, it's just become so easy. Even things that would have taken me a lot longer to do just happen in half the time without even realising it. And ideas just come to me. Even amazing job opportunities have just fallen on my lap without even having to go out and look for them. It's become effortless. Just a beautiful way for me to express myself and to really do work that I love. Before, being creative was about pleasing other people. And I was never really fully putting my heart and soul into it. And now, because of the meditation, I'm much more in alignment with myself and able to put what I want out in the world. And it affects people as well, and it's beautiful to see that. I think the illness really taught me the difference between being and doing. For me, it made me realise that actually being is the most important thing. And the amazing thing is, once we just stop and we just be, then the doing takes care of itself. I think in a way I thought being was a bad thing because it was so passive and I wouldn't do anything in the world. But the more I sit back and be, the more I seem to get done, the more amazing magic seems to happen. So it's kind of doing things the other way around. I can just choose for something else and not, not bury it, not pretend it's not there, but just, listen to my body. If it needs to rest, it needs to rest. That's fine. It doesn't need to affect my happiness. It doesn't need to affect my peace. And then it really doesn't matter if you're ill or not, because life's amazing.